Hi friends! If you click for another shadow showdown between Natasha Denona's Bronze Palette and Pat McGrath's Bronze Seduction Mothership 5, then please keep on watching. You're wondering, Alicia, where are you? Well, first of all, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Welcome. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I'm over at Bay's house and I was like, there's no excuse for you to just bring your camera and get some work done. Even if I don't edit this footage, at least I have done it. The background is not, well, my background at home is not ideal either. It's a little dark for me, but I feel we can still see what's happening. You know, the whole point of this video is to see these two palettes head to head. If you were wondering between the two, they're both cold bronze, they have similar shades. Let's just see how similar they are. And with that said, I do have a Bronze Seduction video. I have a video dedicated to the review. I have a video doing 3 looks with Bronze Seduction, so I'll be sure to link my Pat McGrath playlist down below. I also have dedicated videos for Natasha's Bronze Eyeshadow palette, not only a review video, not only a 4-look video, but videos comparing the different palettes in my collection that I thought were very similar in terms of the colors that they included. And with that said, fam, I have my complexion done already, so I'll have those products down below for you to see. I also have the Hourglass primer on to prep the lids. I'm running out. I got some more of that primer. With that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. I feel like you gotta be a little higher. Now, upon first glance, Pat's Bronze Seduction is probably the majority of Pat fans' favorite palette. My favorite palette is Midnight Sun, and it's between Midnight Sun, well, actually, no. Subversive Mothership 3, Divine Rose Mothership 8, and Midnight Sun Mothership 6. I do love Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. However, I do feel this is very holiday for me. I was speaking to my friend Casey and she had actually brought up that point. This is very celebration, this is event, this is in your face. I wouldn't actually reach for this palette for an everyday look, for an everyday bronzy smoke. Whereas with Natasha's palette, I could reach for this every day. It's a little more user-friendly for me. It's not as intimidating. And I think people love Bronze Seduction because of VR Fire Opal. This perhaps is one of Pat's most standout VR shades in her entire palette portfolio. The reason why I don't use Bronze Seduction a lot is because of Bronze, Blaze, and Guilty Pleasure. These shadow textures are unlike ones that I encounter in her other palettes. They're very heavily glitter based and you really have to work them in. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Bronze Blaze has a lot of texture to it. So for those who are not into these types of shadow textures, I feel that they will not be successful or very happy with Bronze Seduction, where I find that the metallic textures found in the bronze palette from Natasha don't have as much. They're a little easier to use because of that. So I'm swatching, what is this color? This is True Bronze next to Bronze Blaze, and you see how much more texture Bronze Blaze has. Why not, since we're already here, let's do True Copper. This is True Copper. That has a little more warmth to it than Bronze Blaze. I want to check out Alloy. Alloy, I feel, has like a green shift in it that I feel Bronze Blaze does not have. Let's take a look at Silk. Silk is like a rose gold bronze. So beautiful. So this is Bronze Blaze from Bronze Seduction, and these are the standout bronze shades for me in Natasha's palette. And yes, they are very similar, but what I find is different between the two, before we get into this demo, are the mattes. The mattes from Bronze Seduction, they are full bodied. Entrapment, for instance, this lighter, well, you see how it looks in pan, but when you actually apply it on your lid, it's very deep. And I love it for those who are in the deeper part of the skin tone spectrum, that they could get a lot of use from the shade. Whereas I feel from here, these are more of like a terracotta base. So you have that earthiness and that light brown hue that I like to use sometimes as well. With Bronze Seduction, you're getting like in your face smoke right away. I want to quickly swatch Deep Dive next to Extreme Aubergine from Bronze Seduction. So this is Deep Dive, which is Natasha's cream to matte formula. And here we have Extreme Aubergine, which I feel looks more distinctly plum or eggplant, excuse me. So they're very similar. There's a little more brown that exists in Deep Dive, and with Extreme Aubergine you see that it's significantly more eggplant in hue, which I love. You know how I love my eggplants and my plums and my browns and all mixed together. I'm very excited to start this demo. So with that said, I'm going to quickly wipe off these swatches so I don't get myself dirty. All right, I got my travel Hakuhodo brush holder here. I tend to carry a lot more eye brush options with me because I just like to jump around, you know what I'm saying? I also have my little Hakuhodo travel towel with me to go between shades. Let's start off with this eye, and that will be our Bronze Seduction eye. And with that said, we'll start with Entrapment. Whisking that now in the crease. And this is my travel REPHR brush in 16 that they were so nice to gift me. I love the shorter handles because I feel it's just more ideal for travel. Going in again, and you see how much depth of color you get even with the first application. I'm going in a third time because I want you to see this shade. I was trying to find a shade description online on Pat's site, but at one point I thought she had them on there, but now she don't have them anymore. So look at that. I mean, this is like smoky already. For me, I might just add one of the metallic shades and be done. You know what I'm saying? Let's wipe off the number 16, and with the next shade, I think Suntan will probably be the closest hue match to Entrapment. Let's go in on this side now. I'm gonna put you over here. Please don't fall. I'll be devastated. I suspect a little more red. So I don't want to use the word red. Perhaps more of a terracotta hue versus an exclusive brown undertone. So this is Entrapment from Bronze Seduction. This is Suntan from Bronze Natasha. I find that Suntan has a little more of like a rust brown shade. There's definitely more warmth. There is a hint, I feel, of red in there. Versus Entrapment, I think, is more of an actual brown. What happens if I change the exposure? Is that a little better? Yes, that's a little better. So here's Entrapment from Bronze Seduction. Here is Suntan from Bronze. Now the next route I want to go, when I tap into Disobedient, that's when stuff gets smoky. It's gonna get real smoky. Let's go in with my number 15 with that Disobedient shade. From Bronze Seduction, we'll tap on the outer V, and already you just see the depth of color quite away. And I don't have to do much. I tap and let the shadow do its thing. There's no need to over blend, to over manipulate. You just place it there, and once it has been placed, you now whip the brush in through the crease, maybe pull it out or keep it round depending on how you like that blend. But look at that smoke. I mean, we didn't even touch Extreme Aubergine yet, and this is we're going somewhere. We're not really. I have a class to teach it too, so my students are just going to see me ultra glam. It's fine. Not that it wasn't any different before the Rona, okay? Now, Bronze from Natasha, she doesn't have like a deep or medium deep brown shade. It's just Deep Dive or Magma. Magma is more red in tone. However, I think that's the route we'll go just to kind of match up with a similar medium deep shade from the Bronze palette. And in the same manner, I'm tapping on the outer corner, let the shadow do its thing, not over manipulate just yet, and then just lightly swirl and twirl. We got major smoke. This is, I feel, more of like a true smoky dark brown eye. This is getting into more, again, rusty, terracotta, red. You see, you could build up nice depth with Magma, but it's not the same as Disobedient. So if you wanted that like true dark brown smoke, you're gonna get it from the Bronze Seduction palette If you wanted the dark brown smoke from bronze, you will have to then rely on Deep Dive. I'm going to keep it here because I want our second demo to present Deep Dive against Extreme Aubergine exclusively, so hang on tight for that. I do want to go in with Bronze Seduction. Well, duh. Bronze Blaze. So many bronze names. I will use my finger as I have presented before. This has a lot of texture to it, so for those who are not crazy about that, I would go in with a glitter glue and then carefully press and then pull. I find this method is ideal when dealing with this texture specifically from Bronze Seduction. It is beautiful when you get it on there. It does have really nice sparkle. A little tricky with the brush, but I did find when I use my Surratt brush, this is like a smaller, I think they call it the complexion brush, I'm not too sure. It does pick up nice pigment, but I don't need a lot, just enough to refine the edges right under the crease, right here. Yeah, so it's gonna round out the shape, get it a little more precise with that placement. And I think that minimizes the fallout as well, if there is any. But because we pressed first and then pulled, I think that did minimize any of the residual that could have happened. Let's go back in with Disobedient. Again, with my number 15, I just want to blur the edges between Bronze Blaze and that matte. I want to place something fun on the inner corner though for the Bronze Seduction eye. Now, I mean, VR Fire Opal, you could drape over any of the shades in here and it's going to be marvelous. If you want to amplify that gold tone, then I would suggest you apply the Astral Luna Gold. I want to go in with the Rose Gold 005. This pinky shade is just and this is Pat's Blitz formula. It's like that gel type of texture in the pan. And then I tap it over Bronze Blaze and it's such a beautiful gradient going from that rose gold into the truer bronze shade. Pulling it slightly around the tear duct as well. I'm gonna wrap it around because we still have to do the lower lash line. That looks simply gorgeous. How about, ooh, I wanna use Fire Opal so bad, I do. Maybe we could do both, I don't know. Let's just tap lightly with Fire Opal. You don't need a lot. People go ham with the Astral VR shades and they're like, oh my God, the fallout is like, don't go crazy with the pickup. Look at that shift. It's absolutely beautiful. We could have went the Astral Gold route, but why not since we're already here? Let's do it. Just lightly tap and now press it on the other half of the lid. So you have that strong gold reflect moving into the teal reflect. So you could have kept it exclusively bronze or you could add the special effects. I want to take a little more Disobedient and whisk it through the crease just to lessen the sparkle. I like how it scatters, but I still want it to be predominantly matte on this part of my eye. Now for the other eye. Now the other standout difference I found was that the bronze palette doesn't have the actual shades like how they exist in Pat. So if you're all about the dazzle, the disco ball on your lids, then yeah, Bronze Seduction is going to be a better choice for you. But if you're like, I need something a little more chill, Alicia, this is a lot. This is a lot. Well, let's go in with True Bronze. I'm going to use my finger like I did with Bronze Blaze. Get enough there and just carefully. Now, I don't have to be as careful with this shade as I do with Bronze Blaze because Bronze Blaze has a lot more texture to it. I'm a little more confident in applying True Bronze from Natasha's palette simply because I think it's just user-friendly and it just melts into the skin. Now in the same manner how I refine the placement of Bronze Blaze, I'm doing the same with my Surratt brush now with True Bronze. Just getting it right under the crease here. I'm gonna go in with Bliss. I know it's a totally different shade than Rose Gold, but I figured we'll stay within that peachy pink family. Draping it over True Bronze on the inner part of the eye. Wrap it around. Now, can you imagine Fire Opal on top of Bliss? because Bliss already has like lime crystals in there. So it's going to further amplify that effect. I guess that has to be another video. Let's quickly do this lower lash line because I want to try to beat my computer's clock. Entrapment with my REPHR 13 along the lower lash line. Tapping some Disobedient here on the outer. Just blend out those edges. Suntan on the Natasha side, same brush. Tapping in Magma on the outer. I'm making a quick decision to apply Astral Lunar Gold on the inner part of the pat eye for that show-stopping glitzy moment. Let's go in with Palladium. I know we don't have to, but I love this shade and I just like to incorporate as many shades as possible right on the inner part of this eye. All right, fam, let's drop on some lashes and I'll be right back. And here's a finished look on the lips. I have Patrick Ta's lip liner in She's Strong, topped with Pat's Lust Gloss in Full Real, my all-time fave. And I forgot to put earrings on for the demo. So sorry about that. Here are both eyes a little close up so you can see the nuance differences. Ultimately, I feel the Bronze Seduction eye is giving us smoke, is giving us event, is giving us red carpet. You see that there's a lot more dazzle, there's a lot more twinkle on the lid that exists simply because of the beautiful formulation of VR Fire Opal and Astral Lunar Gold. And on the Natasha side, you know, I love these tones. I love the rusty terracotta brown hues. And also I felt that the true bronze shade was easier to apply with my finger than the bronze blaze shade, simply because bronze blaze has a lot more texture. And I feel if you don't want to deal with that exchange, that process, then the metallics in the bronze eyeshadow palette I think will be a better matchup for you, as I do feel they have a little more smoothness to them. They have a little more creaminess that I feel just ideal to melt in with your fingertip. Even so with the brush, Bliss with True Bronze is simply gorgeous, and Magma gives you, I think, a good amount of depth to pass as a daily friendly smoky eye, but Disobedient is giving you smoke head on. And just from afar, yes, they do look very similar, but up close I think this is clearly evident to know and realize this is the overall color story that you're going to get from the Bronze palette by Natasha, whereas you're going to get a lot more smoke from Bronze Seduction, and I think the hues are not as red until, of course, you go in with Blitz Flame, which was Blitz Fire, Blitz Flame, which we most certainly can do. I think this time around for the next eye, we're going to match up Extreme Aubergine with Blitz Flame, Fire, and Deep Dive with High Degree from Natasha's palette. So stay tuned, fam. Let me know what you think down below from round one, and I'll see you in a bit. I will apply concealer once everything is done, you know, because the sparkles are real. Reapplied the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. And now, I want to go back in with Disobedient first because I want to then use Extreme Aubergine. I feel when I layer Entrapment, Disobedient, and Extreme Aubergine from Bronze Seduction, it gets so smoky that you really can't detect that Extreme Aubergine meme eggplant hue. Or should I stick with Entrapment, the lighter brown from Bronze Seduction, because Disobedient has such a deep, rich, dark brown shade that I don't feel you'll be able to see Extreme Aubergine well at all. All right, well, that said, let's go in with Entrapment first, but not as heavy as I did it in the last demo. Same REPHR number 16. I'm gonna keep it actually higher and not bring it so much on the outer V, because again, I want us to really see Extreme Aubergine eggplant realness. So I'm keeping Entrapment actually a little higher, so I'm not bringing it onto my actual lid, and I'm feathering the edges here as well. With bronze, let's just go in with another matte altogether, shall we? I want to do Ridge. Ridge is one of my most favorite mattes that exists here. It's definitely more of like a mustard marigold. Now keep in mind the bronze palette, we're looking at 4 true mattes. No, that's a lie. 5 true mattes. Deep Dive is that cream to matte formula. whereas Pat is giving you just 3 mattes out of 10 shadows. So you're getting a lot more versatility in terms of textures in the bronze palette from Natasha, which sometimes I appreciate and what I tend to gravitate towards because I like those options. I like how I have 5 different mattes to set up 5 different looks with. Whereas with Bronze Seduction, I feel the only route to go is smoky. Given the depth of all 3 mattes included, it's hard to be a little more lightweight with those types of shades, which is why in my favorites video, I said I would rather have the bronze palette than the Bronze Seduction palette for everyday use. But to pop off, for sure, Bronze Seduction, most definitely. Extreme Aubergine now with my REPHR number 15. Should I do a smaller brush? That's okay. Let's tap first on the portion. Oh, so loud. Let's first tap on that shade. Okay, I'm happy we didn't go in with Disobedient because I felt it would have taken away that eggplant hue that I find just so beautiful in the shade. I'm taking one of my Surratt small shadow brushes and I'm tapping on Extreme Aubergine even more so we can get that full on depth of color so it just appears a little more even. And then with my 15, I want to gently whip that further into the crease and pull it out a little more so it could align with the shape I made with Entrapment. And I'm using very light pressure as well. I will eventually put concealer under my eyes, but I'm being a little impatient now. So I'm just placing some right here to clean that up. It doesn't even matter because I'm putting on there. Can you talk, please? It doesn't even matter because I'll place shadow there anyway, but for now, Blitz Flame for sure. This is another Blitz texture. It's like a gel to powder type of a gig. With Extreme Aubergine, it is like the most beautiful matchup. These textures are a lot easier than the glitter-based ones, I find. They're smoother, they don't have the same fallout. It's almost like gritty, I find those other shades are, but this one is a lot smoother. And again, just refining that placement here. What shall we put on the inner corner for this side? Well, we could go with Skin Show Divine Glow, which I would say another difference for me is that if you're a deeper skin tone, any of these shades, like especially Silk, Palladium, even Bliss, will be a beautiful inner corner highlight for you. If you're my shade and lighter, you will have to dip out for a standout highlighter shade that you want to place on your inner corner or even brow bone. Whereas Skin Show Divine Glow, you have here in the Bronze Seduction palette to take care of that task. I wiped off the brush I just used and I take the Skin Show shade and I just lightly tap here on the inner part of my eye. Another beautiful combination will be the Rose Gold or even Bronze Blaze. But when you mix the Divine Show Nude shade with Blitz Flame, is such a beautiful gradient. It almost turns pink because of the mixing of the color. Guilty Pleasure, I think I want to use as our lower lash line smoke. That has that same gritty texture as Bronze Blaze. So let me just lightly whisk that under. Now, unfortunately, because of the texture, I find it's not the most ideal shade to use on the lash line. Like I'm getting some on my eyeballs. Fine. I'm gonna tap in some Extreme Aubergine now over Bronze Blaze. That's the wrong shade, Alicia. Guilty Pleasure. Get it together. Just to fuse the two. Tap and sweep. Tap and sweep. Pulling it from the Skin Show Nude shade on the inner and now over Guilty Pleasure. That's nice. That's nice. Taking my number 16 again. Just carefully whipping the edges of both mattes. Skin Show Nude again on the brow bone, which has like a gold tint to it. So beautiful. But when mixed with the other shades, it'll take on that color and transform, which I think is such a nice quality of that shade. Oh yes. I'm going to keep it exclusively this color. I'm not going to put on Astral Lunar Gold or VR Fire Opal because you could, but I want to keep it exclusively this because look at that shine. It's not the same dazzle effect as the topper shades as they present, but this too is nothing to scoff at, let me tell you. All right, deep dive Definitely have to do deep dive now for this eye. Taking again my REPHR 15, tapping deep dive on the V, and I'm nudging the brush into the pan to pick up the most product, much like how we did on this eye, packing it on the outer corner first. I don't think I combined deep dive with Ridge yet, did I? I might have used Ridge as the starter matte, but I don't think I just kept Ridge and combine it with deep dive. This is an interesting combination. I actually love it. That marigold hue with the eggplant brown from deep dive is nice. You can detect some eggplant, but you could detect it more, I think, from Extreme Aubergine, as I feel they're different shades with similar undertones, but this is definitely more, I feel you can see more of that dark brown influence here. Oh, that's nice. I don't think I've actually kept Ridge on its own and combined it with deep dive. That is a nice combination. Taking a little more Ridge with my REPHR 16 just to whisk the edges here. Oh, that's lovely. I love that. This is my REPHR number 14. It needs to be fluffed. I don't think I actually used it yet. I did wash it, but I'm taking more of deep dive. Ooh, I think I picked up too much deep dive. I'm pulling it across the crease, but with the smaller brush, I have a little more control so that it stays here and it doesn't move too far high. High degree, without a doubt. Now, this is a different texture altogether. This is more of a traditional powder matte. Try that again. Powder metallic, but it's very creamy. And it has more of a gold influence to it. Dare I say, is more of a copper red, where this is a truer, like, hot pink red, dare I say. I think I detect that hot pink tendency because when it's paired with Extreme Aubergine, that eggplant hue, I think, pulls a little bit of that pink that could happen in Blitz Flame. It could. Same thing with high degree. Let's just carefully clean that up. You see what I mean? High degree is almost like a copper red, and Blitz Flame is leaning more truer red. And for this, I think Blitz Flame is a much smoother texture than high degree, because it's just a different formula altogether. In a corner though for this side, I don't know. Silk though, I think is really nice with high degree. Because for me, well, Palladium actually will probably be a better matchup. Okay, that pinky taupe, considering what we did on this side with the Skin Show Divine Glow shade, I feel Palladium will offer something similar. And now I definitely want to go in with Rhodium. Rhodium as our lower lash line smoke. Now I think Rhodium is far easier to apply than Guilty Pleasure. Guilty Pleasure is like, has a lot of texture to it, although it's a beautiful shade, especially if you use it exclusively on your lid. If you just wanted a one look or one shade eye look, you just rely on Guilty Pleasure, buff it on your lid and crease or lash line. It's so beautiful as a standalone shade, and I think people feel inclined to, when they have Bronze Seduction, to apply as many shades as possible on one eye. No, I mean, take advantage of the magic that one shade can offer you, because I love me a single shadow. I just sabotaged myself and I put Extreme Aubergine on this eye. No, this is what happens when you talk and you don't know what you're doing. Just a little bit of Bioderma, just a little bit. I know it's not going to matter a whole lot. However, I want to be consistent with my experiment. Not all is lost. It's going to be okay. Deep dive, not Extreme Aubergine, Alicia. Right here, over Rhodium and connecting to the top. Inner corner of the lower lash line from Bronze. What did we put here? We did Rose Gold. So let's do Bliss. Let's do Bliss. You know what? No. I want to do True Copper. I just want to go a different route. True Copper, yes. You know what I also want to do, fam? I know I'm cheating because I'm applying one more shade. I want to go in with Gloaming and layer it over the juncture between Deep Dive and High Degree. I think that is so pretty. Gloaming is like underrated. I feel it has so many purpose. It could do so many things. Oh my goodness me. I'm just cleaning up that placement, making sure everything looks smooth. All right, let's drop on some lashes, fix the under eyes, and I'll be right back. And here's a wide shot of the second round of looks. I have the same combo on the lips, but I applied Pat's Opulous Gloss and Dreamscape just to give a little bit of pink sparkle. And my apologies on not mentioning, but all 4 looks I'm using the Ardell Naked Lashes in 421. So what do we think, fam? This is again the Bronze Seduction Eye. So we use Extreme Aubergine with Blitz Flame. And here is the Bronze Eye with Deep Dive and what I thought was similar to Bronze Flame by using High Degree, although I think High Degree is a little more bronzy red versus this being exclusively more red traditional. Listen, I love both palettes. I think if you have Bronze Seduction, you most certainly, as you saw in the first round, can create that bronze eye that you can for sure create with the bronze eyeshadow palette from Natasha. I just think it serves a different role. First of all, you're getting 10 shades instead of 15. You're getting 3 mattes instead of 5. It's a little limited if you want to use this. I feel it's slightly limited if you want to use this for every day. If you wanted to use this for every day, you could probably, again, just use Guilty Pleasure. You could go in with Entrapment, maybe Entrapment by itself, and Skin Show Divine Glow on either inner corner or the lid. But when you get into these shades, it starts to pop off. For me, it starts to pop off in terms of the effect of the dazzle. It's like we're going to a party, right? And I love VR Fire Opal. I love Astral Luna Gold, but those are textures for me sometimes, just sometimes. I don't want to put on my lids for everyday looks. I'm just gonna say it right now. And you might be like, Alicia, you're crazy. Yeah, I am. I most certainly am. I have my moments where it's like, listen, for instance, this is Bliss from Natasha's Bronze. I'm gonna pop on VR Fire Opal. And look how beautiful that is. So this is to show, I feel both palettes, yes, different, with some similarities, are bomb together. Now, I'm not saying you have to run out and get Bronze Seduction and the bronze palette. I'm saying if you already have Bronze Seduction, if you get the bronze palette, I don't feel you're duplicating shades. I feel they could be mixed and matched. I mean, look, because Bliss already had that green flip, and this is Blitz by itself. Applying Fire Opal just further amplified that like teal lime duochrome effect. And you could do that with any of the shades. So this is Alloy, one of my most favorite shades that exists in the Natasha palette. And let's tap on Astral Luna Gold on top. How that just amplifies it. So I love the fact that I could be a little more chill with the bronze palette from Natasha, but feel good when I want a little more oomph, when I want a little more dazzle. I feel I'm no longer in the daily smoky friendly zone, but if I really wanted to pop off, I'll go into this palette. And listen, Deep Dive with Extreme Aubergine, if you mix these together, you're gonna make that eggplant hue pop off, as well as, let's see here, Rose Gold with, ooh, oh my gosh, hold on. Rose Gold 005 from Bronze Seduction and Palladium together, I think are just so beautiful. And if I were to apply Extreme Aubergine, let's say here, as my standout matte shade, Rhodium from the bronze palette. So this was to compare the palettes, this video. Compare the palettes, see the similarities, see the differences. I have to do another video combining them. I have to do a mashup video, friends, because now the ideas, they're swirling and they're taking over my brain cells and they're telling me, make another video. And sure, do we need another eyeshadow palette video? Yes, because I want to see these combinations in action, okay? Since this is the finale eye, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tap in to Astral Luna Gold just a little bit and apply some on the Natasha side. I wiggled my brush. I'm pressing lightly here on the inner part And look at that. Isn't that such a beautiful layer of dazzle pedazzle? And I wanted to make sure that you saw these shades alone, you know. Let's go in with Fire Opal. This time with my finger. I'm gonna tap off some excess. Press it over Blitz Flame. And I think it's such a cool effect. It's like a veil of teal over the red. It is absolutely beautiful. So you could combine these in any which way. I will be combining both palettes. I do think they are different, not only in look, but also in experience, because again, people had problems with Bronze Seduction with the textures and they're being more gritty than others, and I get it. I also appreciate that you have more daily friendly moments here in the bronze palette versus in Bronze Seduction. Like I need to mentally be ready for a smoky eye to pop off with the glitz and the twinkle and the dazzle. Like I have to be ready for that. This I could go in with several moods, you know what I mean? But if I wanted to take it to the next level, then I got Bronze Seduction to do that with. I'll rely on Astral Lunar Gold, I'll rely on VR Fire Opal, and combine it, layer it on any of these shades. Is going to be beautiful. I just love that I have the different tones of mattes, however, in the bronze palette. That's what I think is a pro over Bronze Seduction, that you got the terracotta brown, that you got the more rusty red brown, you got the eggplant brown, you got the mustard, the more yellow, you have beach, which is more of like this light peachy brown shade. So there's a lot more variety definitely in the bronze palette from Natasha, and I understand that a lot of these shades don't pop off the same way like Pat's, right? If you're not into the dazzle, twinkle, la la la, then Bronze Seduction for you is not going to be a better palette than the bronze eyeshadow palette. I love them both. I'm so happy I came on and did both eyes and used both palettes. So between the two, again, Bronze Seduction is your party arty shade, next level up, bronze eye, smoky. Bronze eyeshadow palette from Natasha is more bronze everyday, not so much of the powwow pizzazz, but there is just a beautiful sophistication given the tones of the mattes and the metallics that I feel you can use every day, and you still have that option to level up your look if you want, just by layering all these different metallics together, considering that some of them do have that duochrome. You can even wet some of the shades to get more of a shine finish. Let me know down below what you think, if you're leaning more towards Bronze Seduction, leaning more towards Bronze Shadow palette. Find them both if you like more one than the other. And until then, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you in here again, whether it be at Bay's house, my house, or Maddie's house, with another review, tutorial, get ready with me, monthly favorite style video, or nightly life chit chats. Take care, and I will see you again soon.